What's going on with you?
Nothing, man. Just disgusted on what's going on with this shit.
I was thinking about this, all this rioting and whatnot. And I think an unintended consequence of the coronavirus is that everybody's home.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, the marches probably wouldn't have been that big.
Well, yeah, but I think a lot of it is also, man, that these kids are just fed up with it. And I was telling someone the other day that they were like, well, Dr. King wouldn't have stood for this, and Dr. King was about peace and all this other stuff. And,
yeah, but Malcolm X would have burned the goddamn city down.
Right. And what I told them, I said, these kids nowadays are not caring about that. These kids are pissed off, rightfully so.
And I'm fed up with it too. We got tired of seeing this shit happen. Like, we should have never heard "I can't breathe" again.
Right.
And all jokes aside, I know we're comedians, but I mean, it just gets hard to watch. I mean, it's been hard to watch, and then it got to a point where we just became numb to it. But with all the things that have been happening, and they said when they first started introducing body cams, you started to see that certain cops didn't give a shit. Regardless, they think they're above the law. Not all of them,
right?
But some of them do. But we've had so many cops arrested in this past, 3-4 weeks. I bet they're rethinking that shit now.
I bet you they're rethinking it now. And the thing is that you still got some cops out there who still just don't get it. They just don't get it. And
yeah, you're there to protect and serve. Did you forget about that part?
Right. And in the wake of all of this, there's some cops who still just say, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do anyway, and I don't give a damn. And those are the cops we gotta deal with. There's a lot of great cops that are saying, you see they're taking
I'm talking to one of them.
Well, thank you. I'll send you your $50 after the show.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Georgia Power didn't stop for nothing.
But look, there's a lot of
riot. What?
There's a lot of chiefs of police that are joining in, kneeling. I saw
that, man. I love that. That was beautiful.
That this shit is wrong, and that's a long way for the policing society. That's a hell of a long way.
Because you know how strong that blue wall is.
Very strong.
And then even they're like, okay, this is getting ridiculous now.
And I said, this won't change until the good cops stand up and say, you know what, enough is enough of this shit. We got to do something about this. We got to say something. Other than that, I mean, really, who's going to stop the police? When you really think about it, right?
I mean, I can't. I mean, you remember a few years back, I forget what the case was, and I'm not agreeing to any part of this, but it was a similar case, another black man killed innocently, and then they started making false 911 calls just to pick off the cops when they got there. And I was like, I don't think that's the answer. Because, I mean, you kill one cop, you already know how that shit goes. All you're doing is flooding your neighborhood with more cops, which is going to become more unrest. And so we have to figure out a way to change the system. And not to be pessimistic, I don't see that shit happening in Donald's watch.
Really?
He's already shown he doesn't care. He said, when they get to looting, we get to shooting.
Yeah.
I was like, is this a president or Snoop Dogg?
Right. Yeah. He's an idiot. I mean, I think everybody can relate to this guy's a freaking idiot. He's a jerk. He's the worst of the scum, at least in my book he is.
I mean, he doesn't care about people. It's not like he can relate to 99.9% of American struggle anyway. And this is who we counted on to drain the swamp.
Right.
You want to drain the swamp to me? Hire the homeless guy outside of Texaco, who's actually going through some shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, the thing is a lot of people think this is his last time in office, but I don't know because
I don't know. It's a coin toss for me. It's a coin toss because with COVID and the riots, you know, the one thing people really aren't talking about is the election.
Right.
So now we're distracted again.
And he's got a lot of strong, sturge supporters out there still. That still.
If you're still a Trump supporter, that's what you're gonna be. Okay, point blank. Period. Let's just get that out the way.
Right.
After all of the foolishness and all he's done, and we can't really see who he's helped. I know a lot of people were excited about that stimulus check, but I mean, $1,200 ain't gonna do shit for you. $1,200 doesn't even cover my rent.
Well,
and
but a lot of people it helped though. A lot of black people it helped.
It was like a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Because okay, you get that $1,200 once. If you even close to my situation, I still owe another $800 for rent, and I'm only getting this check once.
Right.
I said you better go out and buy some.
Another stimulus package too.
But the Democrats, the Democrats put that one up, and Donald Trump said that's dead on arrival. I was like,
oh, he turned it down.
Oh, immediately. He said that's dead right now. And I was just like, because the Democrats proposed it. I was like, yo, do you care about your party or do you care about the American people? This is a time right now to have sympathy, to have empathy, you know, because at the end of the day, some child's not going to see their father again. You know, some wife's not going to see their husband again. And we're talking about all of this for a fake $20 bill or whatever.
Yeah. Do you think that
that's how much black people are worth
in the black community will ever mend?
What do you mean?
Do you think that the policing community and the black community will ever mend? That will ever see eye to
eye? I think there's a possibility. But I would start hiring, because, you know, when you become a cop or officer or whatever, doesn't matter where you live, they don't necessarily put you in your district.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we have more officers that, let's say you're from the West End and you serve in the West End, you know, that's builds a bond because that's your community too, and you care about it. And you know what, honestly, I want to see more cops that look like me. You know,
I would like to see more cops that look like you.
Yeah, I want to see more black. I mean, I'm not going to see them in my area, of course, but I would like to. It would give me a little bit more comfort, and I think that they are more relatable, depending on the community. You know, you want to have these white racist cops? Fine, good. Send them to Buckhead.
Right. What about those 6 APD officers, though?
Oh, they deserve, listen to me, anybody doing anything that's stupid right now, Keisha did the right thing, just get them out of there. Because it's like, we're already in the middle of damn near a civil war. That's global, by the way.
Right.
And you didn't take any heed to any of this and decided to drag 2 young college kids out of their car after pepper spraying them, after tasing them, and the way you dragged them out that car so aggressively, and I think they said they thought they saw a gun, you know, whatever. And of course, there was no gun.
That's what it, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was no gun. And
like, they sliced their tires. They fractured a wrist. The young man had to get 26 stitches.
Well, I don't even know why they slashed their tires. So now they're just being extra.
Right. Yeah, he took his knife, punctured the passenger side front tire, went around and punctured the driver's side tire.
You know, I look at it from a global scale as well, and other countries have got to be sitting around laughing at us. Just like, you're in so many other countries trying to do this and that. Why don't you handle your house first?
Right.
Go home and handle what y'all got there. And he wants to be in the National Guard, in which he did. And I was like, that's only, you know, enticing people to get crazier.
Right.
And that's not what they're there for.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Darnell. If those college kids
Yes,
were white, do you think that the APD officers would have done what they did?
I don't think so. No. I have a question for you. If they were white and they did the same thing, would the empathy level be the same?
That's a very, very, very good question. That's a very good question.
Because I know my answer. It would be very hard for me to see white people being treated like us and be like, that's a damn shame.
Right. This is just too much. This has been going on for far too long.
Yes, let's hit the streets, guys. My black ass would be sitting right at home.
And you know, right is right, wrong is wrong.
DVR it.
That's a very good question. Let me ask you one more question here.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was right that the solicitor's office put charges on them?
On which ones? The Georgia cops or the?
On the Georgia cops, the 6 APD officers. They were criminally charged. Do you feel that that's right?
Yes, absolutely. Listen to me. If we were regular civilians and I tased you, pepper sprayed you, dragged you out of your car, broke your wrist, caused 26 stitches, slashed your tires, I'd probably be looking from anywhere from 5 to 15 in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably going to get a slap on the wrist if they're even convicted. I think the two main ones will probably get like 18 months or something like that. But yeah, just because you're an officer doesn't mean that laws don't apply to you.
Well, some are saying Paul Howard is doing this for political motivation, to get the heat off of him.
I mean, that could be so, but either way, same situation happened. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, if this is the message that we need to send, then that's what we need to send. And I was talking to one of my white neighbors, young lady, and she was, in complete agreement with it. She said, and this is one of the beautiful parts I like about the protest, you almost see more white people out there than black people. Even white people are like, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's hitting closer to home. It's not just some black guy on TV. That's my neighbor. I go to school with him. I work with him.
Yeah.
And the more and more that they can actually see it now, it's like they thought we were lying before.
Right.
Like, are you really scared when the police pull you over? You're fucking right. I don't care, black or white cop. Yeah, I'm scared.
I get nervous. If I get pulled over and I've been a cop for 25 years, I'm still nervous.
Yeah. Because, they'll treat
it like, when I put my badge out the window, are they going to think this is a gun and shoot first, ask questions later?
I wouldn't put nothing shiny out no goddamn window. I'm going to tell you that right now.
So let me ask you this, Darnell. How do we start the healing process to this? What do we do to make things better from this point on?
Well, it all starts with accountability and making people accountable for their actions. The difficult part with something like this, though, with George Floyd, okay, so the cops got arrested and charged, as they should have been, took way too long, okay? It's not like a trial is, a 2-week thing. So because here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about if they don't get convicted, all of them, the riots you see now are going to look like a walk in the park. Because we saw what they did with LA and Rodney King. Right. And LA is already turning up out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you think that you're just going to sit there and charge them and that we should be satisfied with that, you're out of your mind. And the uprising, if any one of them officers get up, because honestly, I don't care what you say, and I've told you this before. I believe that most cops are good cops. I really do. I said it's probably like 0.01% that are bad cops. But then I had to start changing those numbers because I'm looking at the situations that happen time and time again. And I said, you know what? If you're another cop and you're sitting there watching this happen, you're just as bad as the cop that's actually doing the killing. Because nobody stopped him and said, hey. Nobody had the sense enough to say, hey, guys, there's 4 of us. There's one of him. He's not even really moving. And then they talk about he's a big guy. I don't care. Then they brought up he was a porn star. I don't care.
He was a porn star.
Oh, he was a porn star.
Who was a porn star?
George Floyd.
I did not know that. I did not hear that.
Yes, no, he had a big career. Pause. No.
Yeah, right. I understand what you're saying, but I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, but they're bringing that shit up as if it, you know how they drag people through the mud.
Right.
As soon as you get, the first thing is you got to do.
Well, they're bringing up his criminal record and stuff like that, which has nothing to do with this man being choked to death by a dirty cop. That's not. I don't care if he robbed 10,000 banks, killed 1 million people. I don't care what he did. That is no excuse for what has happened.
No, and I mean, like, really, it goes back, for me, it goes back to, like, either way, there's 4 cops there. And so you're going to tell me you feared for your life? You got 4 cops. Last time I checked, that meant 4 guns, 4 tasers, couple of clubs, 4 cans of pepper spray,
right.
4 pairs of handcuffs, and you feared for your life? We need to take that shit off the books.
Right. Yeah.
And
one more question.
That's a big part of it.
One more question before we get out of here.
Yeah.
What would you say to the young youth out there? What would be your message to the young youth out there that are protesting?
I'm proud of you. Stay strong. Keep fighting for what's right.
I don't condone the violence, and only because I don't want, it's not that it doesn't send a clear message. I don't want more African Americans to get hurt. That's my whole thing. I don't want any other African American males or females to get hurt, because there are some cops who live for this. They live for this.
I mean,
be able
and
to,
I mean, you have kids the same way I have kids.
Right.
And I worry about them. I mean, my kids are way younger than yours. But if this doesn't change, then yeah, I'm gonna be scared when I go outside the house.
Yeah,
I'm scared of them.
And it's something that you have to make a stand on. I do respect these younger generations for making a stance. My daughter was out there in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, she seems like a troublemaker.
Well, remember when she called into the radio station, right?
Say happy birthday to you.
Yes,
yeah, she seemed like she was onto some shit.
I did not. I will admit, I did not know she was out there. But even if I would have known she was out there, I still wouldn't have stopped her, because it's that important. And when she told me about it, I called her and asked her, I said, do I need to bail you out of jail? She says, Dad, what are you talking about? I said, I heard you went down to the protest. She said, yeah, it was peaceful. Then they started getting rowdy, and then she left. So, I think that, I can't preach, and I cannot, and I will not tell our young people to go out here and to loot and to riot and to be disorderly, because that only gives the police the reasoning to manhandle you, to shoot you, to kill you. If they'll kill you for nothing, they'll kill you for something. So
yeah, I got to be honest. I'm for me personally, I'm 50-50 on the rioting, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'll tell you what. I don't agree with you hitting up like little mom and pop stores. No, I don't. Mm-hmm. But one of the weird things that transpired in Atlanta, I don't know if you was watching this, was once they got them out of Midtown, they didn't go back to their hood. They went back to the upper class areas and looted from places that they had insurance and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it was a smarter rioting, but we needed something to get attention. I don't know if that was it, but we haven't found any other way to get their attention yet. And that's my 50 saying, hey, go for it. I'm not with all the stealing, but if a couple of windows have to get broken, then a couple of windows have to get broken.
Well, that was exactly the theory for the mayor in Minnesota, that's brick and mortar. That could all be replaced. That's paint on the building. It could be painted over. That's a police precinct. We can build another. And that was
they're not reelecting. They're not reelecting his ass. Not after, it's not funny, but after he invited all those people to come down to the precinct, And then the next thing you know, the precinct was on fire.
Well, I think a lot of the people of Minnesota can understand and sympathize with him with what's going on. He's disgusted by this action. He was the first one to stand out and say, how many African Americans are going to have to lose their lives before we take this serious? Can't you see the hurt?
Yeah.
He was the first one to say that, a white guy.
I'm going to tell you what, though. I was a little disappointed in Obama. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, I mean, he came out and spoke a couple of days ago. But I was like, it just took way, way, way too long. And not that Barack Obama hasn't always been there to at least speak out on situations. But I was like, we could have used this message sooner.
Yeah.
You know, instead, and I don't know how true this is, because this came out of Donald Trump's mouth. And anytime he opens his mouth, I think he's lying. But he was like, when Michelle was sending an important message, Barack is playing golf. Mind you, he's saying this as he's on his golf course.
Do what now? What was that?
He said, Michelle had put out two very important, powerful messages. And he said, and meanwhile, Barack is on the golf course. But he's saying this, but he's on his golf course. I'm like, I cannot, if I get one more, because, you know, I'm subscribed to Donald Trump's tweets. This guy never ceases to amaze me. Never. Like they say, the internet will never lose. Donald Trump will never let you down with stupidity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I hope, I pray that people go out this election season, and not just Trump, everybody who's in office that's doing something that you don't like. If they're not working for your interest, why are we voting for them? I don't give a damn if you're a Democrat or Republican.
Right.
Because there's a lot of shady Democrats out there too. I want what's in line with me and my community's best interest. So if that happens to be a Republican governor, then that's what it is. You know, but they've separated the parties so much, like Democrats are for black people, which we really haven't seen. But they're just better than the Republicans. I said, we got to start choosing the best of the worst.
Right.
And we have to start choosing people that are good for the job. And that being said, there's not too many people, if you think about it, that are actually qualified to be the president. Half of the job you don't even know about. And you're not going to know about it until you become the president. So you got to look at their background and their voting history and see, you know, what they sided with and see why they sided with them. You know, they have so many town hall meetings that are available to the public, and the crowds are always surprisingly light. Not surprisingly, but they're always light. And I'm like, so basically you're going on Facebook for your news and voting for somebody based on their party. And because I don't think Biden's going to be, you know, the Messiah, but I'll take Biden over. Shit, I'll even take Hillary at this point.
Hell, I'll take Willie the wino on the street over Trump.
I will take, I told you before, Donald Trump is the only president that makes you sit there and say, damn, I miss George Bush.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, Charlemagne and Rush Limbaugh did Rush Limbaugh called into the Breakfast Club, I guess a couple days ago. Did you see that interview?
I didn't see that, but I'm sure it was spectacular.
Yeah, you need to Google that and see it. It was very interesting. I think it was one of the Breakfast Club's better interviews there. Well, Mr. Darnell Morris, I want to thank you for getting on with us here at VH2
Daryl Triplett, thank you for having me. Officer, keep it real.
Yes, sir. And we're going to keep it real at VH2 Networks. Ladies and gentlemen, you got Darnell Morris here, comedian Darnell Morris. Darnell, where did they go to get a hold of you?
I mean, you could just catch me in the street. or go to my Facebook, just Darnell Morris Comedian. And for the younger generation, it's Darneezy Vibe, DARNEEZYFIED. I respond to all messages, or you can even just call me at 678-334-8808. That's 678-334-8808. And that is my direct cell line. I've been fielding calls all week from, you know, people running for Senate, which is shocking because I was like, oh my God, I'm somebody. But I mean, I get calls all the time for people that just need help. And we do the best over there at WAOK and me personally to make sure that we can do whatever we can for you.
Right.
And you don't have to be black either. Be anybody.
All right. Thank you, Darnell Morris. And thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
All right.